first time I thought about it, I guess I was about 11 years old. My arms were about 2 inches too short to actually reach the trigger. That's when my dad came out and saw me sitting there. Think about it today. It's always there. It's always there. Always there. Always. What I do every day to cope with being suicidal is I write that note in my head. First time I thought about it, I guess I was about 11 years old. I think I was 11. It was summertime. My dad had recently bought me a .22 and to go out squirrel hunting, grouse hunting and stuff up in Alaska. And I don't know that there was anything going on that day. It was just I woke up that morning and I knew that was it. That was the day. So I took the .22 out to the backyard and I placed the barrel in my mouth, and my arms were about 2 inches too short to actually reach the trigger and my mouth at the same time. So I took off my shoes and tried to get my toe in the barrel. That's when my dad came out and saw me sitting there and pushed me over and grabbed the gun from me, and that ended pretty quickly. I was never one that would cut my wrists because I didn't want somebody to find me that way, and the bullet, the .22 was a one-time deal. I never thought about using a gun again because that was just, again, I didn't want my parents to find me that way. For me, it's just a way of life. It's something that I deal with every single day, and I have, like I said, since I was younger. I'm not a sad person. I'm not a depressed person. I'm actually pretty happy most of the time. I mean, like everybody, I have my bad days, but for the most part, I'm a happy person. And, I love to make people laugh, and I love life. But there's always this thing. It's like somebody broke into my life and, stuck a gun to my head, and one day they're going to decide when that trigger gets pulled. I am by no means a professional. I've done no studies. I'm just a person who deals with this every day. So all of the things that you're hearing from me is my point of view only. It's just what it is. To me, there are three types of suicidal people. There are the just really down on their luck, just having a bad go of things, and there's no other way out, and so they end it. You have the depressed people, the mentally ill, who that's just, they're at that low, and they go for it. And then you have people like me, people who live with suicidal thoughts every day, every minute. It's always there, always. I'm not crying out for help. I'm not saying that I'm going to kill myself. I want to make that very clear. This video is simply for me to be able to tell you what it is that I go through every day. With people who are just suicidal and it's just a way of life, telling us that it'll get better is not a good decision. We don't tend to listen to that. In fact, most of the people, I've met a few people like myself, and most of us just shut down when we hear it because we already know it's not going to get better. Whether you've lived with this for a year or whether you've lived with this for 20 years, or in my case, 30 years, it doesn't get better. It doesn't go away. You just learn to cope with it differently. What dealing with it for a suicidal person is learning how to put things around you that help you block that out, that help you not think about it, because it's not like depression where you just get all of your emotions just start eating at you or whatever, and tomorrow might be a better day. It's not like that for us, and so we learn things to do, and one thing I've done is I've written out a suicide note in my head, and I update that every single day. I add the people that I want to talk to and say goodbye to, the people that I love. I add things I wished I could have done. I add places I wished I had gone, and all of that. And every day I update this. I mean, my suicide list, or my suicide note right now is probably about 30 pages long. But what that does is it allows me to maintain a view on what's really important to me. And I strive every day to make sure that anything I would put in a suicide note is something that I accomplish. The first thing that I put in my suicide note is to my wife, I love you more than you'll ever know. And so I try to make sure she knows that every single day. My kids are the reason that I wake up every day and continue on. And I try to make sure they know that. And, I wish I could have done a road trip. So my family and I packed up and we did a road trip. We're traveling around the country right now. So that's how I cope with things, is by making sure that I have that letter in my head all the time. And I have sat down and written it out a few times, but I'm terrible and lose everything, so I quit doing that. Now it's just all in the old Nagaroni. One of the worst parts about being suicidal is that a lot of times with depression leads to suicide. With suicidal people, being suicidal leads to depression. Being suicidal leads to anxiety. It changes what we do on a daily basis. It changes how we see the world. It sucks. It's definitely not fun. It makes me appreciate every day that I have, because I never knew growing up when that day was going to come where I was like, I'm done, So there's a really big part of me that actually kind of feels blessed by having this. It's like, not to downgrade having a serious illness, but it's like having a cancer living in you all the time, and you never know when that last breath is going to be drawn. When you're going to wake up and it's over. So there's definitely a big part of me that is glad that I've got this, I guess is the best way to put that. All I'm really trying to do here is to let people who are like me know that you're not weird. You're not some sort of an oddball. There's more of us out there than you think. And that when people say it gets better, it's not as big of a lie as you think it is. When they say it, they think it's going to get better because, well, next time you put in that application or resume, you're going to get that job, so life's going to get good, or you're going to fall into money, or you're going to find love. And they don't understand that those things don't change the thoughts. So when I say it's going to get better, what I'm saying to you is that give it until tomorrow, because tomorrow you might learn something new about this illness that just makes life a little better.